Welcome to the Level 1 Lounge, where we give our uneducated take on anything and everything gaming related. I'm your host this week, the Irish Bandit, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. And of course, I am being joined by my two excellent co hosts, Rider Pride 639 and Agent Maverick 86. Gentlemen, how are we doing this week?
Good.
Yeah,
Excited to get back
not too
into
bad.
regular episode and
Yeah,
talk
isn't it
some
nice?
news and games. So
Yeah,
yeah, be
exactly.
good.
I missed it. I'm not going to lie. I missed it the past few weeks we've been off, but it's kind of one of those things, you get addicted to something, you start getting that itch. It's like, I need my
Yeah.
fix. No.
The
Yeah,
showcases are fun and all, but doing
Yeah,
this is still kind of the big thing for us.
exactly.
well, I mean,
So,
between Ryder working and then I'm
you getting
90%
sick?
sure I had COVID 2 weeks ago and just knocked me out. So it's nice to actually be back. Still have that lingering cough though, so bear with me with that.
Yeah.
So
The lingering coughs suck after you've been sick. But
yeah,
we're not here to talk about illness. We're out here to talk about video games. So we have a few bits of news to get to, but since we are at the start of the month, we're returning to our monthly rundown of the new games coming out this month. And we have quite a list to get through. So let's say we just start right into it. And we're going to start with one that Ryder Pride has actually been playing. He played it on his Twitch channel this past week. That is Shadow Veil Legend of the Five Rings. Now, I know, Ryder, you are a L5R player for the longest time. So why don't you talk a little bit about this game?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great thing to see that this particular IP has been brought back to life. This particular game was released by Palindrome Interactive, which is a indie studio based out of Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they've brought back the original story for this game here. The type of game, it's a bit of a mouthful. It's a RPG deck building roguelike auto battler. So yeah, there's a lot to kind of chew on that one there, but yeah, I'm playing this game on my Twitch channel right now. It's a lot of fun. It's very very different. I didn't think I'd actually like an auto battler, but this one definitely scratches that itch. So it's a lot of fun to play.
Awesome. And that is out now as of the 4th. So if Ryder likes it, maybe you should give it a shot. All right, now we have a few games that are coming out on the 6th, that being Eldarian Creatures Shadowfall. Fragpunk, that is only coming out on PC, though. It has been delayed for consoles, but it will be coming out on PC on the 6th. Split Fiction, which will be coming out for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. I should also say that Eldarian Creature Shadowfall is coming out for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. That's basically coming out on everything. I think I said Split Fiction is coming out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on March 6th. And also coming out on March 6th will be Sodakin 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Ruin, and Done in Unification Wars. What a mouthful. That's coming out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Oh, now, before we get into the rest, PS4 and Xbox One, I wasn't expecting to see any new releases for those two consoles.
I
What about
don't
you?
think that they're very demanding games though with the for the
Ah,
GPU.
Yeah, especially for them
gotcha.
being like
And
remasters.
yeah, and the thing is, you're still going to be able to have access to it with the Xbox Series X and S and the PlayStation 5 via backwards compatibility. Fragpunk was also, I'm just going to touch base on that. Fragpunk was
Mhm.
also supposed to be out on consoles here tomorrow, as of this recording tomorrow. But it's been delayed indefinitely. I wanted to just double check this here. I just did my homework on it.
Doing his due diligence.
Sometimes we have educated takes, but it has been delayed indefinitely at this time, and the reason being is the developers wanted to ensure that the console players had the same experience on PC. So we don't have a release date for that, but those that have play on PC enjoy it. It's another hero shooter. I'm probably going to pass on it. I'm not big on that, but I mean that's going to be a big one. And Split Fiction has been getting amazing reviews so far.
Mhm.
I've really been wanting to pick this one up myself as well. But it's one of those games you need someone to play with. So I'm kind of keeping my ears open to find somebody to play alongside.
Mhm. That'd probably be a good game for you and the missus to play, or the I guess she's not the missus, but
She's
Kind of
she's
like It
not
Takes
really
Two.
big into fantasy or science fiction is the
Oh,
problem.
okay.
So trying to get her to play that is like pulling teeth. I don't think it's gonna
Gotcha.
happen.
I mean,
Yeah.
putting
Gotcha.
together IKEA furniture is hard enough.
No, she would rather put together the IKEA furniture than this because she would say at least the IKEA furniture building is fun because it's just science fiction, fantasy with her. Just I don't know, goes over her head. I respect it. But the beautiful thing is about this game, so is if there was somebody that was interested in playing it, so Ryder, if you're like, yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it, I could buy the game, then I could give you a code to have a friend's code so you can download it and play it along with me,
Okay.
and you could play it for free alongside me, which is why I was like, hey, is anybody interested in playing it? I will pay for it, and then I would give a friend code out so that somebody could jump in and play alongside me without having to pay for it. You only have to pay for it once.
Nice.
They're really good with doing that. Like I did believe they did it with It Takes Two, as well as there was a Prison Break one. It's I'm blanking on it right
Chained
now.
Together?
No, I'll get back to you on that one. I can't remember what it was, but it was a fantastic game as well. Um, but yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
Oh,
Can't
wait,
believe I'm
no,
blanking on that.
right. I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it either.
Yeah,
But I think I know which one you're talking about.
yeah. But anyways, it was great developer. I really like their direction of like, hey, yeah, you can play with friends without them paying for it. But we can touch base on that later
And their director is a
off the
madman.
pod. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. March 12th, we'll see the release of Fate Reawakened on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. What are we feeling towards Fate Reawakened?
I don't remember what this one is.
Oh, me
Yeah.
neither. Me for me too.
Double checked. It's a way out.
Oh, way out.
Is
Yes, that's it.
yes. It was going to bug me. Anyways, go ahead.
Would bug me too. Coming out on March 14th, the game I'm actually looking forward to, WWE 2K25. Everyone knows that I'm a huge wrestling fan, being part of the wrestling industry as well.
And not at
That
all
is coming out
indicated
on,
by the belt above your shoulder, hey?
yeah, exactly. That is coming out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. I'm not too thrilled about the open world aspect of the island, but everything else, everything else is great. With the roster they have, they just announced the DLC packs that'll be coming out for them. I'm not too crazy that they have 3 unnamed NBA players who are going to be playable wrestlers in a WWE game.
Yeah, it almost seems like they're taking a page out of Activision's book with Call of Duty, adding you can have like Kevin Durant as a
Mhm.
Call of Duty operator. So I'm wondering if they're just kind
Well,
of
I mean, Call of Duty had Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley as operators
yeah,
as
that's
well.
true.
So
They also had Nicki Minaj. So I mean that's saying something. So
Well, I
yeah,
mean, it's
nothing
also
good,
crossing
but
over into the Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the
mm,
remasters that have been announced. The Doomslayer is going to be a
yeah,
playable
can't wait to
character.
see him doing some grinding.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of these games we're gonna see a lot more crossover activity. Um, Probably because a lot more of the stuff is like in terms of like cross playability, like the WWE 2K25. Obviously, you're going to be able to cross play between Xboxes, between PlayStations, between PC players. So yeah, I mean having these crossover roster events and things like that is probably going to be a bit more commonplace now with a lot of games like this.
Mm, yeah, I think so too. But should still be fun. All right, moving on to March 18th. This is actually going to be in early access, but this is going to be 33 Immortals for Xbox Series X and S and PC. Now, this one should be a big one coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a chance to play the beta, one of the closed beta tests for this one. I did get an invite for it. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this one here too. There was a lot of stuff that was missing from the beta test, but from what I did play for it, it was actually kind of fun. So I think I might jump on the bandwagon for this one. This might be one of those ones that I kind of play off stream, but we'll kind of see what happens. But the fact that you can basically team up with as many friends as you want to get into a game and play together, I think basically up to 33 players,
Ah,
is really 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 cool. So yeah, it's the hardware. The hardware beta test went really well. It performed really well when I had a chance to play it. So yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to this one, I think.
Well, what about you, Maverick?
Uh,
Thoughts?
it's interesting, but it's just not in my wheelhouse of games that I would typically play. So I'm probably going to pass on this one. Um, and I mean, there's also another game that we're going to talk about here pretty quick that's coming out
Yes.
2 days afterwards.
I will let you talk about that
That
one
I'm
when we
going to
get to it.
be, yeah, that's going to be kind of my focus. So, it's going to be pretty hard for me to want to jump into that one with another release basically right on its heels.
Right. I know you're a big fan of this series there, Rider Pride. Also coming out on the 18th will be MLB The Show 25 for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and Switch.
Uh,
Thoughts?
yeah, I don't know if I'll get this one on release day just because there. I mean, I don't want to build up too huge of a backlog, but I did pick up MLB The Show 24 when it first appeared on PlayStation Plus, and it's just as fun now as it was when I played it. I think the last one that I played on stream, I think would have been 2019's version. I think it
So.
was 2019 or 2020 that I played it. I don't know. I've always been a baseball player ever since I was a kid. So, and I mean, I'm a Blue Jays fan. So yeah, no, this it's the perfect kind of game for for fans of baseball.
I also find with sports games though too, like we got to have this discussion too when it comes to sports games, like MLB, Madden. Like we should just be, they should just be releasing player packs at this point in time and just doing an update rather than us constantly paying
There's no money in
for.
that though.
I obviously,
Yeah,
but I'm saying like it's just it's getting to a point where like I've stopped buying sports games because especially when it comes to Madden, because it's, well, what's the point? Because it's going to be on Game Pass just before Super Bowl anyways, like Madden 25, the second Madden 25, which, fun fact, of course, Madden is always gone with the year, but for their 25th anniversary, they called it Madden 25. That came out in like 2016. So there's actually two Madden 25 games, which makes no sense.
That's not
Um,
confusing.
Madden
yeah,
25 2.
yeah, exactly.
Madden Boogaloo.
Um, so like, I mean, the recent Madden 25 came out on Game Pass. I
2025.
haven't touched it yet, but I mean, and I really enjoyed playing golf once in a while. I go to PGA tours and stuff too, but it's getting to a point where they're just going to be releasing them for free at some point. There's no point in paying for them anymore.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to one I know that Maverick is looking forward to coming out on March 20th, Assassin's Creed Shadows. That is coming out for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Maverick, take it away.
Yeah, this one, I'm excited for. I'm going to be probably, as I said, my streaming days are going to start picking up here in the next little while. I believe I'm going to start streaming with this one, with wherever I am at this point. Gameplay hours have been released by Ubisoft. They're saying that it's going to be a 30 to 40 hour game without the side content. So to actually platinum it, it sounds like it's going to be in the 60 to 80 hour ballpark. And the map size is going to be just as big as what it was for Assassin's Creed Origins. So the map is going to be huge again. So this one I'm going to be plugging away for a while. But yeah, I'm very excited. I, I am a little nervous with the writers that are involved. Um, PlayStation players will be able to have this experience because as of yesterday, they did release Dragon Age: The Veilguard on PlayStation for the games of the month, um, and the writing for that game wasn't spectacular. And the writers are involved with that. Now, again, I've said before, the gameplay was great. Gameplay was fine. So my expectations are really low when it comes to the writing of this game, but my expectations are high for when it comes to the actual gameplay. So I'm hoping that the gameplay kind of counteracts the crappy writing, and I'm hoping I'm wrong on that because this is a game a little bit more based in reality compared to, Dragon Age. So I'm hoping it's better, but I am a little nervous about this one for sure. But I am excited, and I will be definitely doing a review for that on my Facebook page as well. So keep an eye open for that.
All right. Also being released on the 20th on PC only will be Mudborn. This is the first I've heard about it, so I'm betting you guys have the same reaction as I do. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a hell of a title. Coming out on March 21st on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S and X, Xbox One, Switch, and PC will be Ulterior Yumia, The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. Wow.
That is a mouthful.
It is.
It kind of almost looks like Little Nicky, almost. Well, kind of a little bit more combat, but anyways, it looks interesting. But yeah, not really on my radar. Actually,
Yeah,
no, it's not Little Nicky. It's a JRPG. It's interesting. Looks turn based. Might be good.
Yeah.
maybe.
Probably one of those ones that, yeah, if it appears on PlayStation Plus, I'll probably give it a look.
Coming out on the 24th on PC will be Dark Deity 2. I didn't even know there was a Dark Deity 1. Oh, it's just like Helldivers. I didn't know there was a Helldivers 1.
Yeah.
I started playing Helldivers 2. Coming out on the 25th for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So coming out on everything will be Breakout Beyond. On the 26th will be Mother Machine, and that's coming out on PC only. Coming out on the 27th will be, I think it's AI Limit or L Limit.
AI.
AI
Limit. Okay.
Limit. Yep.
AI Limit on PS5 and PC. Coming out on the 27th will be Atomfall for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. Also coming out on the 27th will be Sport Renovations. That's coming out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. The first Berserker, Kazan. That's also coming out on March 27th for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. This is one you're looking forward to, right, Maverick?
I was. I had the
Was.
chance to play the demo, and it was fine, but it's way more Souls-like than I really was thinking it was going to be. Meaning the combat is going to be tough. Out of the ones that we just went over, though, the ones like that I'm going to be most likely to pick up at some point, is actually Atomfall. It almost looks like a newer Fallout game. Kind of an open world first person shooter. And then it looks interesting. I'm kind of interested to see that's going to be like. But as I said, it's going to have to go on the backlog. There's a lot that's on my playlist here pretty quick. So that's one that I've kind of got my eyes on. The first Berserker, I was very excited for. Played the demo. I had fun with the demo, but I got to a couple points where I was like, I'm going to be throwing my controller at a wall.
Oh, boy.
I'd be doing the same,
So,
honestly.
yeah, I'm not going to be picking that one up. But I was very happy that they had the demo. I did cancel my pre-order for that one. So,
And the last game that will be released on March 28th will be Dollhouse Behind the Broken Mirror for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Any other games that you're looking at for the month, guys?
Not
Or have
really.
we hit
Now
them
that I
all?
know that that Atelier Yumia is a JRPG, that one I might keep that one in my peripheral vision just to kind of see how that one turns out. I mean, anybody that knows me knows that I'm a big fan of JRPGs. So if it's good, if it's got a good story and some good gameplay, I might get that one a look. So I might take a look at some early reviews for that one first before I make a decision on that one.
yeah.
Probably a good idea.
Dollhouse, I'm looking up a little bit of gameplay on that one right now. It looks creepy as hell.
It's right up my alley.
This might be, and it looks like a puzzle first-person shooter horror game, like a survival horror game. So, I mean, Taz really likes to see me get scared, so I'm sure if she gets wind of this, she'll be like, "You should pick that one up."
And then you'll say no.
Yeah, I don't really want to get chased by Chucky. That's okay, thank you.
I mean, it works in Dead by Daylight, so
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I have been kind of getting into that genre a little bit though too, and I gotta say, we discussed it a little bit too. Um, I I'm with Ryder on this. I gotta say that some of these Eastern developers are really starting to knock these games out of the park. I find myself enjoying more games developed out in the East compared to the West. I'm not saying that there's bad games in either area, because there are, but I find myself enjoying games developed in like China, South Korea, Japan a lot more lately compared to what's being released, here in North America. But it's just something I've started to notice. But I mean, it's I'm going to have to keep an eye on that too with Ryder, I think, for that one.
I mean, my thoughts are if it's a good game, I don't care where it comes from.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I
yeah,
agree with that
exactly.
too. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm just saying that the games that I've enjoyed the most are coming from a
Mm.
certain region lately. That's all.
Yeah,
Like I've just noticed that a little bit more here in the last little while. And there's nothing wrong with anything. Like a good game is a good game, as you said. It just these developers are there's just better development going out east, I think. So, as I said, I'll have to keep an eye on it too.
all right, so that is our list of games that's coming out in the month of March. So let's get into the news. We don't have a lot today, but we should have enough to talk about. So, first, we got to talk about this again, do we? Report Sony lays off employees at Visual Arts and PS Studios Malaysia. First third party support studio, Visual Arts and PS Studios Malaysia, have reportedly been affected by staff cuts. There was a report that an unknown number of staff was allegedly laid off at Visual Arts and informed that their last day at Sony would be March 7th. These layoffs are allegedly widespread and said to include developers who were working on the recently canceled live service game from Ben Studios. PS Studios Malaysia seems to have also faced layoffs, according to a LinkedIn post from former senior project manager Joanne Effendi Mafour. There's a wave of there was a wave of workforce reduction, and unfortunately, I'm no longer part of the PS brand, Mafour wrote. The saddest, most devastating part for me was seeing high performers and key individuals who are actively working on projects being laid off. And we're right back to 2024 again, gentlemen, with this news.
Where's
Hang on, I
Chewy?
gotta
He needs
go.
to come in with the whiteboard and days
Yeah, I was
since
gonna
last day
say.
off.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say. I'm gonna go reset the days to 0 here.
Mm-hmm. So, thoughts?
um,
Other than it sucks.
well, I mean, the live service games, live service
Live
games
service.
being
Sorry, that's my
canceled.
fault.
Yeah, no, live service games are being canceled. I don't think is a terrible thing because I just mentioned here a little while ago that um I feel that the East has a little bit more of a pulse on the gaming community, is what I think it
Oh,
comes
it's
down
always
to.
have.
Um, and the thing is, when it comes down to for this particular situation, live service games, this is not what fans want. I don't know how many times we also have to say this. I mean, there are some games that it works for. Like, I mean, Destiny 2's gone forever. I think that game can just die. Division 2 is starting to pick up again with their player count and coming up with new DLCs and stuff coming out this year. I'm going to still say it too because I know it's coming with Ryder. Give us Division 3.
I was just gonna get him to
Um
say that.
the Ben canceling that live service game, I'm hoping it opens the door for something like Days Gone 2. But I it's as I said, this is expected. We're going to continue to talk about it. This is an area where I want to be upset, but I'm not that disappointed with the situation because it means less live service games coming out that aren't needed that fans didn't ask for.
Ryder, what are your thoughts?
Other than it sucks, well, it sucks. I mean, that's pretty much what it boils down to. Um, I disagree on the live service thing. For one reason only: Twitch. People want to be able to play these kinds of games on Twitch because competitive scenes are so chock full of money right now. Whether that be like you take a look at the games that are out there right now. Like there's still major money in Call of Duty, both Warzone and multiplayer with the Call of Duty League. League of Legends, which has been one of the longest live service games that has been running alongside World of Warcraft. Same thing. There's constantly big tournaments for that. Apex Legends, Counter-Strike 2. Like there's live service games are the wave of the future, like it or not.
I got one word for you.
Hmm.
Concord.
Yeah.
You're
One
mentioning
game.
you're
One game.
mentioning a bunch of games that stood the test of time, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing saying that any of these games would. And I understand that there's a major community within that for Twitch, but that's where my thought pattern is you're not going to be able to compete with League of Legends. Nobody from League of Legends is going to move over to play a live action service game, in my mind, from Ben Studio, especially when they're overcharging customers, and then there's yet more and more hero shooters coming out. That's my stance, and I'm not saying that it doesn't bring in a community and that there isn't competition. I'm just saying fans didn't ask for it. I don't see that being a future, and I'm hoping that it's not. And I know you're going to disagree with me again. That's fine. I can't stand the oversaturation of live service games. I would like to see more focus on single player story driven narratives myself. But that's me. I'm getting old. That's my standpoint.
Yeah.
Old,
So
get off my lawn.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Old man
Yep.
yells at cloud. Let me rephrase
Yeah.
that. Old man yells at cloud services. um, but no, and actually no. I'll elaborate on that point a little bit too. Is that yeah, in like live service games are going to be a thing. Like I said, they're going to constantly come out because there are certain ones that people are asking for. Division 3, this guy. There are ones that people didn't ask for that are going to be big hits. Marvel Rivals is a really big example of that one. Nobody asked for a Marvel hero shooter, and look at the success that it's
awesome.
And look at the success it's gotten already. But that being said, yeah, there are live service games that are done very poorly, very incorrectly. Concord. But I mean, yeah, like I said, there's always going to be a market for live service games. Releasing them at the right time, which obviously Concord did not do.
The right price.
Obviously.
The right price is another thing. And I think that's where we're
Marvel
probably going to
Rivals
see
is
a
great.
lot more either lower price points with more microtransactions in the market, a la Marvel Rivals, which is free to play. But the only thing that you can buy in the store is just extra costumes for your characters. That being said, the alternative on that is that you can buy those very same costumes for your characters using the in-game currency that you can earn during gameplay, which I think that part is a very distinct point that needs to be made when it comes to live service games. Have your microtransactions on the market if you want, as long as they're not, pay to win, obviously, especially considering you're playing against other players. Give us a way to be able to earn those same things without having to shell out money out of our pockets immediately. Like how Marvel Rivals.
I agree with that. In fact, I had this conversation with Chewy this week as well, because he was starting to get a little worked up that Assassin's Creed Shadows has cosmetics, but they've been available since Origins.
Yeah.
And I said they're strictly cosmetics. And here's the beautiful thing when it comes to Ubisoft. So if I'm playing Division 2 and I complete a challenge, I'll earn 100 UB dollars or whatever coins, basically, right? And I can take that and buy cosmetics in Assassin's Creed if I want it. So as long as I'm playing a Ubisoft game, I can earn, and I'm completing challenges, I can get those Ubisoft bucks and change them for cosmetics. You don't actually need to pay for money. And I'm all for like I'm okay with microtransactions. I don't like to spend money on a lot of them. Like there are some there I did cave with a couple of them for Helldivers just because I didn't want to shell out, like I didn't want to spend the extra time grinding for those extra coins to be able to get some of those war bonds at that time. They were reasonably priced, I thought. But cosmetics are a completely different ballgame. As long as it's not pay to win, do whatever you want. I don't care. So I'm right there with you.
So let's move on to our next news story. I think we're done talking about that one.
Yeah.
I think this would be good news. Rockstar Games acquires Video Game Deluxe, now known as Rockstar Australia. Rockstar Games has acquired Sydney-based developer Video Game Deluxe, rebranding it to Rockstar Australia. Video Games Deluxe worked on the release of LA Noire and LA Noire, the VR case file, in addition to upgrades on Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy Definitive Edition. It's been a great honor to work closely with Rockstar Games this past decade, said Video Game Deluxe founder Brendan McNamara. We're thrilled to be part of Rockstar Games and continue our efforts to make the best games possible. Rockstar head of publishing Jennifer Kobe added, after working together closely for many years, we're excited to have Video Games Deluxe join the team as Rockstar Australia. So yeah, this sounds like good news. Like at least it's not another publisher being shut down. So thoughts?
I'm excited to see what they do with this company.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking of like a Grand Theft Auto Red Dead Redemption situation set in an LA Noire setting. Like
That'd be
how
interesting. I
awesome
mean,
would that be?
technically that does exist. There is the Mafia games.
Sure.
True.
It's
Yeah.
not quite as extensive as, you know, what Rockstar would put out in terms of like open worldness, but yeah, no, I see where you're going with this. And honestly, especially now that they've kind of acquired them too. So now they've got all these extra, you know, they've got these new developers and producers and artists and VFX and things like that. You know, who knows? Maybe we could see, you know, Red Dead Redemption 3 set in, you know, late 1800s Australia. Who? Because I mean, that's a big area to explore. Let me tell
Actually,
you.
I've been hearing rumors that Red Dead Redemption 3 is going to be yet another prequel.
They keep going backwards instead of forwards.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. I mean,
Red
they
Dead
made
Redemption 4:
references
The Stone
to
Ages.
yeah, there've been kind of references to Arthur Morgan's dad, so maybe that's going to be the direction that they're going to go.
Oh god, they keep
So
going backwards. You're gonna end up, yeah, basically you just take control of a character and all he
yeah.
does is walk around with a rock going unga bunga.
Unga bungas with mattresses. Yell, what the hell's Unga bunga? Two guys run at each other with mattresses, and yeah, that's it.
So do we have anything else we want to
No, I'm just
talk about?
excited to see what direction they go with that
Yeah.
developer. I mean, that kind of idea of an LA noir Grand Theft Auto type thing would be interesting. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, and I mean,
Same.
and it's Rockstar Games.
Hopefully
I mean,
no, hopefully
Rockstar
no
has
Unga
been.
bunga
Oh, sorry.
though.
Yeah, yeah. As long as they don't keep going backwards too far. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Rockstar Games has a lot of very very good games under the belt, like great games. We're not talking good games. We're talking great games here. So them acquiring some more talent for their studios and basically have an additional studio available to them, you know, to work on some new projects. I think, yeah, I absolutely agree with what you said, Rob. I think this can only be a good thing, honestly.
Absolutely.
So yeah, no, yeah, and much like Maverick, I'm excited to see, you know, what kind of products they can bring to the gaming market.
Yeah, same here. All right, time to move on to our next story. And children of the 80s rejoice because Acclaim is back. Acclaim Entertainment, reborn as indie game publisher focused on original IP. Acclaim Entertainment, the legendary company published titles like Mortal Kombat in the 80s and 90s, is back as an indie game publisher. After more than 2 decades, a team of industry veterans has united to bring back one of gaming's most iconic brands to publish original intellectual properties, said Alex Joseph, CEO of the new Los Angeles company, in an interview with GamesBeat. It's a relaunch and revitalization of the Acclaim brand with a completely new team, Joseph said. Some players have an association with Acclaim in the past, like myself, but it's an all new team. He added, first and foremost, the new Acclaim is going to support indie developers and new original IP. It will provide all of the resources needed to bring their games to the widest audiences possible. Just as other publishers shut their doors, Acclaim Entertainment is officially returning with a vision aimed at revitalizing the gaming landscape and foster new talent. Originally founded in 1987, the relaunch marks a new chapter for the publishers and as it seeks to support indie developers and reignite classic franchises. I am so excited over this news. I am a huge fan of the Acclaim games, especially their Acclaim WWF games. Well, we'll call them WWF because that's what they were at
Yeah.
the time, like WrestleMania, and they were also behind Mortal Kombat. I think they're also
World
behind.
Wildlife Federation? Is that
Yeah, funny guy. I think they're also behind WrestleMania, the arcade game as well. Or that could have been Midway. But I am
Yeah, I think that was
so
Midway.
jazzed at this news. I'm so jazzed at this news about Acclaim coming back. What are your thoughts, guys?
I want to
Uh,
let Ryder say something first.
yeah, I was gonna say, it's good to see some of these classic producers and developers come back. Um, to that point, obviously, like Apogee has been making a comeback, and for a lot of people that remember Apogee games, especially back in the early days of PC gaming, Apogee was one of the names behind ID Software, which made the original Doom. And plus, like for a lot of gaming magazines, they always came out with like these various like 50 shareware titles. Apogee was on like 90% of those particular game titles. So to see Acclaim Entertainment coming back into the fold it's huge. I mean, I would love to see. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll get like an original Mortal Kombat remake. I doubt that, but
Nah, not
having
since they belong to Warner Brothers. Doubtful.
yeah, um, but yeah, to see them come back and try and make a stamp on the gaming universe with a new original IP, I'm definitely very excited for because
Same.
getting some new stuff. I know Mav and I have talked about this. We talked about this, I think, with Chewy and Phil Spencer Jr. at length as well, where we're starting to get a little burned out on remasters and remakes. We want to see some new stuff come out. Sequels are fine and dandy. Give me Division 3. And but give us some new stuff to get excited about. Um, Remasters and remakes are fine to a point, but eventually we're gonna get to the point where it's like, okay, well, all we really have is our Final Fantasies, our Lunar Stories, our Octopath Travelers, and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I'm glad to see Acclaim back in the fold again. Going back to the whole, they're building up new teams and things like that. Hopefully, this is one of those things where these guys can, pick up a lot of these developers and artists and things like that that have been laid off from other studios being shut down, type of thing.
So I'm gonna kind of parrot what he said a little bit as well, because we've discussed it at length in the last little while, which is just the original IP aspect of things.
Right.
Chewy brought it up, and he's like, "This has been the worst generation there's been," and I'm like, "Well, that can't be true." Like I've enjoyed so many of the games, but then I look everything I've played, remake, remastered, remake, remastered. Um, I do think that this year that is a bit of a turning point when it comes to remakes and remasters and original IPs. I think there are a few more original IPs that are coming. Um, but for Acclaim to come back and be able to push that out and to have more original IPs, I think is only going to um, add to the variety that is really needed at this point. And of course, they developed games before there was open world fatigue or open world anything. So maybe we can take like I'm hoping that they might have something a little bit more linear when they do come out with something. Them supporting more indie developers, I think, is also is fantastic news as well. Uh, I, I I've been really bad at avoiding indie games the last little while, and I'm trying to turn a page and give them a shot a little bit more, at least double A games more often. But I think this is nothing but good news. Um, but the games that I know that are original that are coming out at least in the next little while, like I've talked about them before. So I would just kind of say like there are original games that are coming out, like South of Midnight is original, Expedition 33. I showed a little bit of Blade of Fire, Lost Soul Aside, and then even Tides of Annihilation, which is really high up on my most anticipated games right now. All of these games are new and original, so there are developers that are working on some original IPs, and I do think that the generation is getting better. I think with this it's only going to improve it and make things even better than the direction now, just to add things to the mix and improve everything more.
So I had to check one thing quickly with the news of Acclaim, and I had to double check something and triple check something and quadruple check something because I was just looking here, and in this article that I'm reading, to guide the process, Acclaim has assembled an advisory board that comprises Russell Binder at Strike Entertainment, Mark Kaplan at Rich Partners, and Jeff Jarrett of Global Force Entertainment. Yes,
Like the
that
same.
Jeff, JEFFJARRETT. Jeff Jarrett, the professional wrestler.
Nice.
Wow. Jeff Fafa? So I had to make sure that was real, and holy crap, it is. That's actually pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I know Phil Spencer said in our chat, "Oh, he wants to see me cut a promo." This is my promo. I think it's awesome. I think it's great to see Acclaim back, and Jeff Jarrett of all people is an advisor. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's move on to our next story, and that is the Gears of War collection E-Day release plans narrowed down in new leak. An industry leader suggests that Gears of War E-Day will be released in 2026, and a Gears of War collection will drop later in 2025 to take its place. Gears of War E-Day was first revealed as part of Xbox's impressive game showcase last June, with a nostalgic and sentimental cinematic trailer. A prequel to the original trilogy, Gears of War E-Day will focus on franchise icon Marcus Phoenix and his friendship with fan favorite COG Dom Santiago on Emergence Day. While the trailer wasn't followed by a release window, rumors suggest it was aiming for a late 2025 release. Even before Gears of War E-Day was revealed in 2024, a Halo the Master Chief Collection style remastered anthology had been part of the Xbox rumor mill for quite some time. Over the past year, there have been a string of rumors and small pieces of evidence that suggest a Gears of War collection in the works. In June, Gears of War 2 and 3 musical composer Steve Yablonsky updated the thumbnails of both games' soundtrack on YouTube with the Coalition Studios logo, with both games originally developed by Epic Games. This led to more speculation about a Gears of War collection, and as did Phil Spencer Sr.'s recent revisiting of the earlier Gears games on Xbox past January. I had to throw that in there. You know,
I
I
love
had
that
to
we have to make that distinction now.
It would make sense for the Gears of War collection to be released on PS5, as it'll allow gamers on that platform the opportunity to grow familiar with the characters before jumping back in time with Gears of War E-Day, which may also wind up on PS5 at some point down the road. While unknown, the Gears of War collection could consist of the 2015 Gears of War Ultimate Edition remaster, alongside new remastered versions of Gears of War 2 and 3. Whether the 2023 spin-off Gears of War Judgment or either of the more recent Kate Diaz-led sequels make it into the collection is also still a mystery. Let's go to Maverick for this one. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited. I played Gears of War, the the original remastered, and it was great. I loved it. I tried to jump into Gears of War 2 quite recently, and I don't know what it is with the camera shake and the way, like, just the camera angle when you're running. Um, I was almost sick playing it. Um, and so for them to be looking at re-releasing it and remastering this one, I'm all for. Because I don't that feeling of when I was playing that game, it was really unsettling. So I'm very excited for this. I also think that this is a series that a lot of fans or a lot of people have slept on.
Mhm.
That, of course, are Sony ponies. I know that a lot of people use that when they refer to me. That's fine. Um, but
Spencer Jr.
yeah. That being said, for it to be coming on PlayStation, I don't think is either a huge shock either.
No.
I was kind of surprised to hear a little bit more about I guess it's saying that's a Master Chief collection style remastered anthology. I think this is fantastic. ED I'm very, very excited for. I do want to try playing the original series all the way through. So for them to re-release them like this, um, I'm all for it just because of that camera control with two. I want to try these games out, but definitely needs some quality of life improvements in my opinion. Um, so I mean, and we've talked about it. Microsoft doesn't care to be doing hardware anymore. They want to do game development. They want to focus on software. And I think that this is them signaling like they are actually going through with that plan. So this is great. I'm excited. Bring it on. Um, I will definitely be playing these ones the day one when they're released this year. If this is true.
If this is true. Yeah, it's a big thing. This is all speculation at this point.
Yeah.
Ryder, any thoughts?
I find it funny that like we're excited to play remasters of Gears of War after the conversation we literally just got out of talking about playing remasters and getting burnt out on them. But I mean, to be fair, Gears of War is Gears of War. This has been a long favorite series for a lot of players. I never got into it personally. Technically, I do own a Gears of War game. I can't remember if it was 3 or 4. The video card that's in your computer, Irish, had a deal at the time where it came with a free copy of Gears of War, with like a voucher code. So I do technically own it. I think I played it for like maybe 20 minutes. I think this is around the time where I really, really hated third-person shooters, just because I wasn't used to them. And then, Division 2 came along, and all of a sudden, I really, really love them. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like they're gonna make a prequel for it. They're gonna give it. If they're gonna give these games a good remaster treatment, obviously, this would be a good time for people that wanted to originally get into the franchise. Pardon me. To get into the franchise now, especially with the upcoming release of E-Day. Whether or not that actually happens, again, like I said, it's all speculation here at this point. But I don't foresee this one petering out like a few other games have in the past. Maybe we'll probably see delays, because I mean that's kind of the soup du jour when it comes to a lot of big games like this. But yeah, no, I feel like this one's definitely going to hit the market, and I think a lot of people are going to be chomping at the bit for this one too, Mav included, obviously.
I think when it comes to remasters and remakes, like I'm a little bit more on board with it when there's a full generation apart. So in this case, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, all released on the Xbox 360, right? So there was the Xbox One in between. And they're not remaking or remastering it for the Xbox One. They're remaking it for the Xbox Series X and Series S. There's a little bit of a leeway there. And that's where I'm okay. Like for an example, the game that I had an issue with for being remade and remastered was The Last of Us Part 1, because it came out on PlayStation 3, then it was remastered for PlayStation 4, then it was remade for PlayStation 5. That was a money grab.
100%.
This direction of having a full generation between and quality of life improvements, I'm a little bit more on board with, especially when it comes to a franchise that they're bringing more people in and releasing it on a new system. That's the difference in this case. Is it's not just going to go, oh, here it's going to be on Xbox, it's going to be on PlayStation as well. Don't kid yourself, it's going to be released on Xbox as well. It'll be on Game Pass day one. Yeah. But it's going to be released on PlayStation 5 as well, bringing more people into the franchise, which is exactly what they need to do in order to get their $75 billion back for all the purchases that they've made over the last 5 years. And I said billion with a B. Billion.
All right, well, that leads us perfectly into our final news story, talking about Last of Us. Neil Druckmann opens up about The Last of Us Part 3. Series creator Neil Druckmann has put a real damper today on any hopes that a part 3 is in the works, or ever will be. Speaking to Variety, Druckmann gave a lengthy interview today largely centered around the Last of Us TV series. However, at the end, the outline asked him about the prospect of Last of Us Part 3. Druckmann responded with quite the shutdown. I was waiting for this question, he said, sighing. Guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more The Last of Us. This could be it. Naughty Dog is currently hard at work on Intergalactic, which was announced at the Game Awards last December, and is likely several years away from completion given its lack of any kind of release window. With the studio's interest firmly in space right now, there's no way the team has time for The Last of Us Part 3 anytime soon. It's entirely possible Drunkman is being coy here, or simply that he isn't willing to commit yet. The passage of time could change that response, or he could just be done with it. Back to Maverick again. What do you think? Should there be a part 3, or is this it for the franchise?
I mean, they ended it at a decent note. I think I'd be okay with it ending where it is. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing more, but I'm not opposed to it. Um, but I really don't know what direction they're gonna go. For those that haven't played the games and are waiting for the series, the TV series. I'm not gonna give anything away. You'll see in 2 more seasons time what ends up happening. Um, so I'm okay with it ending the way that it is. The story I would like to see them go back to and build on a little bit more. And they ended it very well as well. But so if they left this series alone as well, I'd be okay with it. But I would like to see more. Is Uncharted. I would really like to see another Uncharted game. Maybe them handing the position off to Nathan Drake's daughter that they introduced at the end of the series or the end of the last game. Um, I think that would be a direction to go to build in that world a little bit more. And as I said, I'm not opposed to them working on new IPs. We just finished talking about original ideas. Intergalactic is an original idea. It's not another sequel. And Naughty Dog is known for their narratives. They're one of my favorite developers for that reason. Um, and even The Last of Us Part Two, first played it, I hated it. I was so mad at that game. Uh, but I replayed Last of Us Part One, got into Part Two, and completely changed my perspective. And it was a game that stuck with me, and I realized at that point, I'm like, you know what? I've been thinking about this game for years. It did deserve Game of the Year, and that's the first time I've ever admitted that. Um, and I I would like to see them focus on something a little bit more, a little different, original. I think that's what Intergalactic's going to be.
Mhm.
But I also wouldn't be opposed to them working on more Uncharted or more Last of Us. But I do think that they ended at a decent place.
Yeah, I've watched the TV show and it's definitely piqued my interest in terms of actually playing the game because I haven't played any of the Last of Us games before. Um, in terms of there being more Last of Us, I mean, if they're gonna end it kind of at that point, obviously I'll take Mav's word for it in terms of where it ended off. Maybe we could potentially see them do something similar to maybe what's happening with Game of Thrones right now, where they're going to be doing a lot more spin-offs. We could potentially see something like that where maybe there's a side story or a side character, from The Last of Us that, maybe we could follow their story, for something off to the side. Who knows? But that's a lot of spitballing and speculation there. But I mean, Naughty Dog's a good studio. They've released a lot of good games in the past. The Last of Us notwithstanding, obviously, but yeah, I mean, Intergalactic. We saw that at the Game Awards. Looked really interesting. Yeah, hard to say for sure. We're more or less just gonna have to wait and see at this point when it comes to Naughty Dog games.
Yeah,
I'm going to say this. If you ever do get into The Last of Us Part 2, halfway through the game, I nearly threw my controller at the wall and destroyed the game. I was so mad. I'm not going to give a reason being, but that's also one of the
I
reasons
think I know
why.
why.
Yeah, I'm sure I've told you before, Rob.
If not, I know the big spoiler from the game, but
So that spoiler, you play as the person that initiated it for half of the last half of the game. So
Right.
without
Yeah.
giving anything away, and that's what really pissed me off. Was I didn't want anything to do with this character, and now I'm forced to spend the next 15 hours with her. Um, and that's what set me off for a good chunk of the game. That being said, I think the TV series is going to handle that story a lot better because it's not going to be like, well, here's Ellie's story and here's the situation that she's dealing with, and then we're going to switch to this other character. It's going to be, I think it's going to be intertwined. You're going to see this character be developed, and then it'll switch to another one, and another character be developed. It's going to be a lot more linear rather than jumping back and forth through time. And I think that storytelling is going to be done a lot better. Um, but there are going to be a lot of pissed off fans this upcoming season. And I hate to say it, but I am totally here for it. And I'm waiting for everyone's reaction next month because I know a lot of people are going to be mad. And
oh,
I I'm kind of interested to see what everyone's standpoint is because they gotta realize that there's a certain character that doesn't have a great backstory, and we've forgotten about it, and that was half the problem I had with that game too.
Yeah.
So
They're just covering it up with a really good actor.
yeah.
yeah, but that being said, yeah, we're in for a ride next month, and I'm here for it.
Same.
But yeah, I am I'm a little disappointed with the news, but I'm not shocked.
I'm getting season 7 Walking Dead flashbacks, so if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't see it because for some reason it's way darker in the corner, but I got my Lucille there in the back. So, but I think that wraps it up for the news for this week. Well, wasn't a whole lot of news, but hey, we were able to get a lot of discussion out of it, so that's always great. So I think with that, we're going to power down the system for this week. So let's go around the horn and just see where everybody can find everybody at. Maverick, where can we find you at?
Well, when I am going to be streaming, I'm on Twitch, Agent Maverick 86 there as well, and I do have the new Geek Corner as well, where I do movies, and reviews, as well as game news and reviews. I've been a little quiet on there the last little while. Um, I'm playing around with the idea of doing some streaming this weekend. If it does happen, my weekend this weekend is going to be Sunday and Monday. I do have a concert to go to on Sunday, so it will probably be kind of during the day Sunday and maybe on a little bit on Monday. But if I do jump into any streaming, it's going to be Doom Eternal this weekend. And then I'll be picking up some streaming, do some more streaming here as well with Assassin's Creed. And I've kind of gone over, there's a lot on my plate right now that's coming up, but I'm very, very excited, and I'm excited to share some moments with you guys upcoming. So, yeah, you'll find me on Twitch, and I will be doing that quite regularly here very, very soon.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Ryder, how about you? Where can
And
we
you can
find you at?
find me, you guys can find me over on Twitch as well at twitch.tv/RedderPride639, where, as was mentioned earlier in the episode, I am currently playing through Shadowvale Legend of the Five Rings. Very, very fun game. I'm also going to be doing reviews and posting my Let's Plays over on my YouTube channel by the same name. I recently just finished uploading all of my Let's Plays for God of War Ragnarok, which I have rolled credits on. So again, big thank you to Agent Maverick 86 for gifting that to me for my birthday. That was a very, very fun franchise to play through, so I'm very, very glad I picked that one up. Aside from Shadowvale, there's going to be a lot more games coming on down the pipeline. Not to mention that any of my streams going on this year are all going to be done for charity. So I am a Make-A-Wish International Ambassador. Like I said, there's all kinds of charity stuff. I've also recently become an affiliate for Red Dragon Gaming Products. If you guys are looking for some new gaming gear, whether that be keyboards, mice, headsets, mouse pads, controllers, all kinds of really, really good gear. Head to Red Dragon, use code RIDER at checkout for 15% off your entire order. Free shipping anywhere in North America. So just as a side point to that. But yeah, I'm also doing a little bit of TikTok here and there now and then. Not as frequent as I'd like, but we'll see about that. But Twitch and YouTube are probably they're probably the two most common places that you can find me and my content.
Yep. Same goes for me. You can find me Thursday and Friday, 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. over on Twitch. And then you can find me Saturday and Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. till noon on Twitch as well, Irish Bandit Rob. You can find me over on YouTube, where I post every Monday and Friday. No Friday video this week, but I'm back on Monday. You can also check out my novel Shade Falling over on Amazon. You can get it through either Kindle e-reader or paperback. And I'm also an affiliate with Streamily. It is a service where you can get autographs from all of or for some of your favorite celebrities, including actors, wrestlers, sports figures. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII, quite a few of the voice actors from Final Fantasy VII are on Streamily. You can pick up autographs from them. All those links will be in my Linktree link, and you can get all our links down below in the description of this podcast. So that wraps it up for this week. Thank you all for joining us for this episode. Good to be back. And we will see you again next week. For Agent Maverick 86 and Rider Pride 639, I am the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit, and we will see you on the next level.
Like and
care.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe.